today I'm going to make a sort of traditional candle holder. So these, I used to make these when I was at Trap Forge, and I think it was based off a picture that we actually saw. I can't remember whether it was an original picture or a drawing or whatever, but anyway, these are traditional candle holders that you would just literally hammer into a wooden shelf or mantle place or windowsill or whatever to then put a candle in to light your room, I suppose. Anyway, let's crack on and get straight into it. To start this off, I'm going to isolate a little bit of material on the end, which hopefully I can then spread and roll up into a socket which the candle will go in. Draw down the material just behind that isolation a little bit. This wants to be sort of a stem or a nice taper on back there to form a bar, leaving that isolated material on the end. Coming on the near edge, I can now create a reverse taper. I'll begin to work the corners down so we can forge an octagon, and then we can roll this stem or whatever you want to call it down to a round bar. Also, I'm leaving it a little bit thicker at the end so that when we're forging this isolated material out, we don't get any stress concentrations or fractures or cracks. So hopefully it stays as one piece rather than the end falling off, which is never a good time. I've got the stem nicely forged out. I'm going to come on here now and try and spread this material. So I want to spread it in that direction so I can then roll it up. But I've got to just squeeze it in a bit to reduce that width and hopefully push it out a little bit in that way, and then go on there with a cross beam to properly spread it nice and wide. Take a cross-beam hammer and begin to spread this material now. Got a decent amount of width on it, so we can begin to roll it up into a socket for the candle. Try and get a bend in the centre there. I'm going to come on just over the hardy hole, I think. Try and get it bent into the right place. I might try it actually over the step, be a bit better, I think. Yeah, we've got it bending now in that. So that flattened section coming out of the stem, it's quite hard to get a bend in there. So just doing it over the step, bending nicely now. socket's all rolled up. I'll put the shape into it now. So we want this to bend up like that, and then put another reverse in it that's bending in the wrong place. I've quenched off this section here so that I don't get it bending there, which was what was happening in that last heat. I just want the bend to be on the very end of the bar now. So there we go, that bit there is what you hammer on to drive this into the piece of wood or whatever you're going to put it in. I'll cut it off, actually probably we don't need all this material, so I'll cut it off about there, I would say, and then just draw that out into a little spike so that will go into a piece of wood. You can see that nub of material on the end of the candle holder is just used so that you can hammer it into a piece of wood, or I mean even a piece of stone if you drill a hole and resin it into the wall, but generally this would have been into a bit of wood. Hammer it in, and it's just so that you don't have to hammer, hit the actual socket, so that doesn't get warped and goes off circular, off a cylindrical shape, so that the candle actually still fits in nicely. And so I enjoyed making this. This is something which I actually haven't made one of these in quite a long time, because I used to make them when I worked at Trap Forge, which was, I don't know, a couple of years ago now, but it was a nice blast from the past, I suppose you could say. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you soon.